Good afternoon, everybody. So let's talk about the CLB today. So we've mentioned this in other videos that your regulated Canadian immigration consultant is often going to say that you need CLB 9 or CLB 7 or maybe even more. What does that mean though? Well, let's take a look. So when we think of language exams in terms of immigration, well, your language exam results mean everything really for a lot of people. There are minimum requirements as we saw for language exams. We saw that exceeding those minimum requirements is essential. And what are the language exams used for Canadian immigration? Well, you've got them here. It's these four and only these four. There's a slight exception, of course, for Quebec, but the vast majority of people watching this video will focus on IELTS. And that's why, of course, our lessons at EnglishExamPrep.com focus on IELTS as well. So if you took an exam, let's say you took a TOEIC or a TOEFL, or you took a high school exam or a university exam in English, does this count towards your immigration to Canada? No. Does it count towards maybe studying in Canada? It's not very likely. So again, we focus, of course, on IELTS. If you are a French speaker, well, I'll speak to you in French now. Vous pouvez prendre le TEF ou le TCF aussi. Et si vous pouvez parler en français et si votre français est plus fort que votre anglais, ça serait une bonne idée de concentrer sur ces deux examens. All right, so if you didn't understand that, don't worry, focus on English. All right, so all I said in the previous slide in French was that if you are a French speaker, and if your French is stronger than your English, well, focus on the French exam. We offer French preparation as well as part of our partnership with your immigration consultant. So you can ask him or her about that. But when we refer to the CLB, well, it's just the Canadian government's way of correlating different language exam scores into an easy-to-use format. Sometimes people will refer to the CEFR, and you might have heard this term before, well, where people will say, oh, I've got a B1, a B2, a C2, a C1, an A1. Well, that term is not used in immigration. They loosely correlate to the CLB, but pretty much everything you hear in terms of immigrating to Canada, in terms of applying for university or college programs in Canada, will refer to the CLB. So how does the CLB correlate with the individual scores of those four exams that are used for immigration? And remember, of course, for academic purposes, if you're applying for a university in Canada, there are other exams that are used. It depends. IELTS is used at pretty much every single academic program, every single university, every single college accepts IELTS. So it's a good idea to focus, of course, on the IELTS exam for that, because later on, if you're planning on immigrating, well, you're going to need the IELTS anyways. So when you think of the score that you need, if your RCIC says you need a CLB 7, perfect. CLB 7 means band 6 in everything in IELTS, a score of 7 in everything for CELPIP. For TEF and TCF, well, you can see it means quite a variety of numbers in there. All right, so that was just a very quick lesson on correlating the CLB with your individual language scores. So part of the goal, of course, is to make sure you get as high of a score as possible, and of course to see what your immigration options are. So send an email to your immigration consultant, get that consultation so you can see what score you need. Once you know the score you need, hey, we're here to help too at EnglishExamPrep.com. So our program is available through your immigration consultant at a huge discount. So I look forward to seeing you in those IELTS lessons. I look forward to the great news you're going to get from your immigration consultant. And of course, I think everybody is looking forward to you taking those first steps towards becoming Canadian.